Okay, last but not least, all right?
Good afternoon, everyone. With over 700 million individuals grappling with its harsh reality, it's imperative that we turn our attention to the staggering statistic. Poverty is not just a lack of income or resources. It's a multi-dimensional phenomenon that includes social, political, cultural, and environmental aspects. Poverty can limit people's opportunities, choices, and freedoms and expose them to various forms of discrimination and exclusion. Inequality is closely related to poverty as it reflects the uneven distribution of income, wealth, power, and opportunities among different groups of people. Inequality can create and reinforce poverty traps and undermine social cohesion and human dignity. My research question is basically what drives these disparities and how can inclusive policies forge a path forward? I wanted to explore the root causes of poverty and inequality and identify the best practices and policies that can possibly promote social justice and economic development for all. So, to answer this question, I have used an approach that combines both quantitative and qualitative data from various sources, such as surveys and official statistics. My research has three main objectives. First, to understand the dimensions and dynamics of poverty and inequality in different contexts. Second, to analyze the factors and mechanisms that generate and sustain disparities among different groups of people. And third, to evaluate the effectiveness of such inclusive policies. I will now present some of the key findings of my research, which are based on my data analysis and literature review. I have identified the four main themes that have emerged from my research. They are education, discrimination, the government and its policies, and healthcare. These themes are interrelated and have significant implications for poverty reduction and social inclusion. First, healthcare. Healthcare, as you all know, is a vital component of poverty alleviation as it can improve health outcomes and quality of life for individuals and communities. Healthcare can also reduce poverty as it can prevent and treat diseases and injuries that can impair productivity and income. Healthcare can also enhance equality as it can ensure universal coverage and access to affordable and quality health services. Education. Education is a pivotal factor as it can enhance human capital, increase productivity and income, and empower individuals and societies. Education can reduce inequality as it can provide equal opportunities and access to resources and services for different groups of people. Education can also lead to social cohesion as it can promote tolerance, respect, and dialogue. Discrimination is a major obstacle as it can marginalize and exclude certain groups of people based on their gender, race, ethnicity, religion, disability, and possibly sexual orientation. Fourth, the government, the most important cog in this wheel. The government plays a crucial role in poverty alleviation as it can design and implement policies and programs that address the needs and rights of the poor and the marginalized. It can promote infrastructure, security, sanitation, and education. However, it has to regulate and monitor these activities of the private sector and society to ensure there is accountability and transparency. These graphs, as you can see on screen, were the key findings of my research that highlight the importance of inclusive policies for poverty reduction and social inclusion. In this slide, you will see some graphs that illustrate the results of the survey I conducted amongst 62 respondents across different age groups and experiences. The survey asked them to rate how significant each of these themes were for poverty on a scale of 1 to 5. As you can see, the majority of these respondents agreed that these themes were quite significant or significant for poverty alleviation. This indicates a high level of awareness and support. In conclusion, then, poverty alleviation and my research has shown that it's not a one-size-fits-all solution, rather a context-specific and multi-dimensional approach that requires an integrated and holistic reasoning. Poverty alleviation measures should address not only the symptoms, but also the root causes of poverty and inequality. The participation and empowerment of the poor and the marginalized, as well as the collaboration and coordination of various stakeholders, such as government, private sector, and civil society. Second, tackling the perceived solvability of poverty. This perception can undermine the motivation and commitment to fight against poverty and inequality and and support inclusive policies. Third, is there any optimism for the future? My research has also suggested that there is room for optimism. For instance, according to the World Bank, the global extreme poverty rate has fallen from 36% in 1990 to 9.2 in 2017. Moreover, according to the United Nations, the Sustainable Development Goals have set an ambitious agenda to end poverty in all its forms by 2030. Furthermore, according to the results, it shows a high level of public support and demand for inclusive policies in different countries, which indicates a strong social consensus. Now, these are the questions which I wanted to answer, but I hope it can lead to some future research on this topic. So, my research has addressed some of the key issues. However, there are still many questions. How can we measure and monitor poverty and inequality in a more comprehensive and accurate way, taking into account the indicators of human development? How can we identify and reach the most vulnerable and marginalized groups of people who are often invisible or excluded? And second, how can these researchers build upon this work and explore? And the answer is they can explore or test new variables that are relevant to poverty and inequality and the impact of these policies. And developing or evaluating new tools or techniques that can enhance the design and implementation of these policies. This is a list of the main sources that I have used for this presentation, and you can find the references here. These sources include books, reports, articles, and websites. With my research, I tried to contribute to the knowledge and policy debate on this topic, but the ultimate goal is to take action and join in on the cause. Poverty and inequality are not just statistics or abstract concepts. They are real human experiences that demand your attention and action. Thank you very much.